Good morning, everyone from Hong Kong. I'm really flustered this morning. I've literally just walked into the door about 5 seconds ago. So I'm going to be riffing this one a little. So forgive me if it's a little bit off the top of my head and on the fly, but it's so good to be here. I was going to talk about how not to, no, how to stay confident and serene even when you're triggered by your ex or your relative or your friends or other people, because quite a few of you have been asking me, how do I stop being triggered? What do I do when I'm getting these triggers happening? I think one of you contacted me and said that your ex suddenly out of the blue contacted your daughters, and he was drunk on Christmas Day and said Happy Christmas to them, and that, you said, felt like a punch in the face. Others have said that you're going 3 steps forward, and then you get triggered and your recovery and healing go back 10 steps. And I just think I better check my microphone for 1 second because well, I'm hoping you can hear me. Sorry about that. I forgot to check my microphone. Let me just have a quick check. Yeah, it is okay. So others say that you go 3 steps forward in your recovery and then 10 steps backward. And, I know how that feels. When you get triggered out of the blue, you think that you're doing really well. You think, finally, my head is ruling my heart. I'm good, I'm strong. And then somebody says something or does something, and wham! Like you said, it's a punch in the face, or you just feel it in your gut and you feel physically sick. And I remember that feeling. It's visceral. It's, you really feel sick. And it can be even more subtle than that. One of my clients that I'm working with at the moment, she said actually what happens with her is that her ex has recently been quite lovely to her and telling her, confiding in her that his new relationship is not going so well, and she just said, I feel great because when he's down, I feel great. It makes me feel so much better. And, what I said to her and what I say to you now is whatever it is, whether it's being triggered like her, because that's being triggered, by the hoovering with her. And because that's what that is hoovering, that, trying to keep you warm even though you've got a new supply, and wanting to just love bomb you a little bit, keep you on a string so you don't lose control forever. Or the other triggers where, your ex says something or you have contact with them and bam, you're thrown. Now, what that says to me and what I said to her is that your happiness is still tied to them. Your happiness is still depending on other people around you. It's not coming from within. And what that says to me is that even though you feel strong and even though you're recovering, then you haven't healed that little wounded child inside you. And that child inside you is still driving the wheel of your life. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's really, really important, because when your child is at the steering wheel of your life, that damaged, wounded, insecure child, you are making all your decisions and your reactions to the outside world are emotional ones. They're not rational from your head, the adult rational side of you. They're the emotional child. And that child does react emotionally. So what I say to you, it's not to do with the triggers, because if it's not one trigger, it will be another trigger. It's about the child inside you and whether you've healed that child or not. Because once you heal that wounded child inside you, once you step into that really confident, most authentic adult self that you can be, that's aligned with who you really are and your core values and beliefs, then you won't be triggered, because your happiness, your moods, and your behavior won't depend on the outside world. And if you don't get to the root cause of what the problem is, rather than trying to come up with techniques to use, like take 10 deep breaths when you're triggered, that's just treating the symptoms. That's a band-aid, that's not treating the cure. Until you really get to the bottom of that, why you are depending on the outside world for your happiness, why your moods go up and down depending on what happens in the outside world, then if it's not one trigger, it will be another. And you will get, you'll go 3 steps forward in your current recovery, and you'll go 10 steps back. You'll go 3 steps forward, you'll go 10 steps back. So you'll think you're recovering. You'll think, I'm strong, I'm feeling good, but you're not. You just feel good for that day. And then when something triggers you, you go back again. You'll just be inching forward in your recovery. Or you'll just, start to people please, because you think, well, I don't want people to trigger me, and I'm afraid of confrontation, so I'll just start to make the peace. I'll people please, I'll make the peace. I'll do all those behaviors that are about putting your needs absolutely last and everybody else's first. So, you'll keep going round and round on that hamster wheel, thinking you're recovering, but it's taking you forever, because any tiny thing just sets you back. So I hope that has been helpful. If it is, please let me know what's triggering you, and what do you feel when those triggers happen? What is that feeling inside? Because that churning up inside of you is that damaged child, and you need to heal that, because if you don't, then that child's going to keep driving that steering wheel of your life, making decisions based on insecurity, decisions based on fear, and you'll just keep repeating self-limiting patterns of behavior, like going back into abusive relationships and over again, because it's, this triggering and the way you react to trigger is just a symptom of something way deeper. And unless you break that cycle, then, your life is not going to change. So if you want to talk more about really getting to the root cause of why you react to the world like a frightened, emotional child, and you're really sick of that, and you want to step into that confident adult and, choose the way you respond to the world rationally, with making decisions that serve you, don't get in your way, then drop me a message and just PM me, and we can talk more, because I have, as I said last video, I have opened up more free breakthrough calls. They are getting booked up very, very quickly, so because they do get in demand when I open my diary up. So do book them quickly. But I'd love to have a chat with you more and see if I can support you to fast track your way to healing, rather than just keep on going around that hamster wheel, just waiting for the next trigger to set you back. Anyway, I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. Oh, and if you're watching this on YouTube and you do want other support, you want to prefer to take the slower route, well then join my Facebook group called Love You and Choose the Life You Want. All right, bye for now.